Happy Friday, everybody. I hope you had a great week, and what a week it was. Once again, this week was filled with twists and turns in the market. As always, this is something I invite you to recap with me on the Monday market update. We'll do a review this past week, and we'll preview this coming week. Today is April 12th, 2024, and this is your Friday planning video. I will not say too much about those last-minute tax planning ideas. It's pretty close to too late, so I do have the following for you. Now would be a good time to remind you that I do not give personal tax or legal advice. As I'm about to detail, we do a lot of work with tax and legal members of your teams. And this year, maybe as a result of me mentioning it so often on the videos, we've had many calls and emails and even some meetings with your tax and legal advisors. This does not have to stop on April 15th. And I suggest that maybe, just maybe, the single best tool that we have to help you lower your taxes and help you keep more of your money is the tax return itself. Starting this month, and we'll be meeting with you and your team and asking how we can review those returns for ideas on how to make the 2024 a better tax year for you. So please prepare those returns. Let's see if we can get you to keep more of your own money in 2024. Now, you probably know already that I'm not the biggest sports guy. I do love to bring sports into our conversations, and if you missed my video a few weeks ago, I spoke about my love for the Formula One auto racing and the idea that came from that. We should focus on controlling what we can control. Today, I want to focus on the biggest sports news of the day. Yes, the hallowed grounds in Augusta, Georgia, the grounds of Augusta National Golf Course. The tournament started yesterday with the Thursday round one, and hopefully it will dodge the bad weather in the area and wrap up with the awarding of the green jacket for the Masters to the winner on Sunday. You guessed it, I want to talk about the golf tournament and the game of golf and what we can take from it in our overall planning video today and our overall planning for the year. You may ask, what does it have to do with planning and finance? Let's start with the $18 million purse, and that's nothing compared to the honor of the green jacket. I do guess that depends on how you feel about how you look in green. I want to first talk about a few random but interesting facts about the tournament and the location. The club itself has a membership of 300, and you cannot apply, so you can only imagine the special nature of the venue and the event. It is difficult, if not impossible, to get in and around Augusta National. Aside from this weekend, they open it up now, but otherwise don't count on this one if it's in your bucket list. Tickets, not easy to get, but also not crazy expensive at face value. Last year they went for between $100 and $140 each, but on the secondary market plan to pay up to 10 times that amount. A few other facts and then we'll pull all this together. First, the concession prices are not like going to an NBA or Major League Baseball game where prices for food and drinks and at events like that make Disney prices look like the Costco hot dog meal. No, concession prices are pretty reasonable. I read that you can actually get a chicken sandwich, a Coke, and chips for $7 or less. Beers are actually about $6 now. That's up from $5, but it's still very reasonable based on what you're talking about. No on-course signage for sponsors. Again, this is an interesting one. They have to use the airwaves during the broadcast. The merch from the Pro Shop, that's the big draw. It did nearly $70 million in 2022. So what does all this have to do with planning? Well, I want to focus on the goals. This is the first of the 4 major tournaments and arguably one of the most prestigious. The idea that many of these golfers want their tour card just so that they can play Augusta, that is a focused goal. Now, I speak about goals all the time. I want to bring this home with a book by Bob Rotella called Golf is Not a Game of Perfect. Now, I don't play golf so much anymore, but I did at one time, and as anyone who plays knows, this title could not be more true. In an age where, going back to the F1 video, where in sports and in life we control so much, it seems that golf is one of those things that cannot be tamed. Just watch a few holes and you'll see. What Rotella says in the book, among other things, is about how you approach your golf game and specifically each shot. And this is where I bring it together. I speak to you all day after day, and while sometimes we get stuck in the mud of short-term moves and facts, we always try to get our focus back to the goal, the long-term goal. In golf, some say, drive for show, putt for dough. I'll come back to that one in a minute, but Rotella suggests that in the book that this is a mental game. And again, if you've ever played, you know this. And what he suggests is that most golfers spend so much time adjusting their practice swing, their posture, even their clothes, but they've forgotten the goal. The key, says the author, is to visualize the ball coming off the club head and flying straight and true and hitting the green or the middle of the fairway. That's the goal, and that should be the focus. The signal and the noise, as I've said many times, the signal is that mental image of what you want to happen. The noise, pretty much all the rest. I once worked a charity golf tournament in college, and one of the holes was set as a mystery hole for a prize. None of the golfers knew what that prize would be, so at the awards ceremony, when we announced that the mystery hole was to award the golfer with the most practice swings, the gasp, followed by the laughing, followed by the announcement that the winner had taken 36 practice swings before hitting his tee shot, focus was on the wrong thing. There could have been other explanations, but we'll let you imagine that. I will admit, before I get responses from you telling me that just thinking the ball into the hole will not work, you are correct. But the key is, all of the great golfers, they know what to do. They've practiced. Their bodies know how to hit the shot, where to line up, and how hard to swing. And all that is left is that gets in the way is that mental game. It is as true in our financial planning as it is on the golf course or on the race course. Drive for show, putt for dough, as I mentioned earlier. This is a common refrain, and it really focuses on the idea that the drive, the tee shot, not for me, but for good golfers, is the easiest part. The hard part is that last 20 feet to the hole on the green, and this is so often a mental game. Here's where it comes together further. There's so much noise, so much adjusting and changing the grip and the stance, and yes, all of that's important, but as Bob Rotella speaks about in the book, if you visualize what you want to happen, if you stay focused on getting the ball in the hole, in our case, let's stay focused on our goal. Those goals can be short-term goals, getting the ball from the tee box to the center of the fairway, or getting the necessary savings for the children's education, or can be the overall long-term goal. It could be hitting that long putt, getting the ball onto the green, or even putting on that green jacket. It's like the retirement income goals. They are short-term for some and longer-term for others, but they are all the focus. As this is the case, we all know that just visualizing that goal will not make it happen, but if we keep that goal in focus, it will be what will always come back to that North Star. In today's world, today's market, there is so much noise and so much that we cannot control, but there is what we can control. And in remaining focused on that goal, we know that like golf, investing is not a game of perfect, but we can work together to do everything possible to reach those goals. Please stay in touch, enjoy the golf if that's your pleasure this weekend, and come back on Monday to get an update on this past week's market action. Have a great weekend.